Andrew McCART, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. I'm still here in Dallas. I'm with Eddie Hearn. How are you, sir?
You're still here. The show's on tomorrow.
Is that? I can't miss that show. What a show it's going to be. But breaking news, not from yesterday, from this morning. Hughie Fury signed a Matchroom, another heavyweight to your stable. What's your thoughts?
I'm really surprised, to be honest with you. Like, it really came out of nowhere. Spoke to MTK. Sort of, would you be interested in working with Hughie Fury? Absolutely. He's 24 years old, and actually when you look at the resume of Hughie Fury, it's quite unique at that age. I mean, he fought Joseph Parker for the world heavyweight title. 22. Close fight. Went to Bulgaria, where many didn't want to fight Kubrat Pulev, lost there. And I think the fights that I'm talking about putting him in are going to blow your mind, actually. And there's a small chance that fight might be announced next week. And it shows, Joey, it shows me that he's got a big old set of bollocks on him. And I like that, because he doesn't really need to be taking those fights, because he's only 24. But I guess him and Peter feel like, no, we're ready for those fights, we can win those fights. We haven't got a 0 next to our name, so let's gamble. And I love that. And the fight will be announced next week. Very likely that Hughie Fury will appear on the Lomachenko Campbell card at the O2, and I'm really excited. It's shocked a lot of people. They didn't see that coming. I didn't see it coming, but it adds to a brilliant heavyweight roster, and now we've got to get all these guys fighting each other. That's the key now. Chisora, Parker, Hughie against one of the other guys, Usyk against whoever, Takam, Povetkin against someone. So that's the aim now, and I'm really pleased. We've got 14 of the top 20.
You have signed as well, Martin Piccoli as well.
Another good fighter. I mean, he's another guy that can jump in with all those people. He's fighting on the next gen next week. So I'm really pleased to welcome Hughie to the stable, and it's raised a few eyebrows today. I think interesting timing with everything going on. We had another heavyweight to the division, to the stable, and I'm excited for him. Hopefully, all being well, August 31st, and a potential big fight announced next week.
Let's talk about why we're here in Dallas. We spoke a little bit yesterday in the interview, but we didn't really break it down. We just said good fight. But I want you to sort of break down the Hooker versus Ramirez fight. I mean, it is a cracking fight.
It's a great fight. For me, I think it could be 2019 Fight of the Year. Two very, very good world champions. Maurice Hooker's kind of been a bit of a road warrior. Had to go and obviously box Flanagan in Manchester, box Saucedo in Oklahoma, won both those fights. And he's never really got the credit that I say he deserves. I just think he's had a sort of lack of exposure. So we wanted to bring him back to Dallas. Didn't expect to do it in such a big unification fight. Made a big offer to Ramirez, and I feel like with Maurice Hooker, you've got to give him that chance to be in a massive fight, because that's the way he's going to become a star. It's too late in his career to start building him and saying, like, he's not 22, he's not had 5 fights. He's got to have a massive breakout win, and that would be Jose Ramirez. Jose Ramirez on the other side, really good fighter. Robert Garcia is the trainer, really good amateur pedigree, Olympian as well. Always comes forward, always in exciting fights. I just think the styles are going to gel into a brilliant fight. Two great trainers, obviously Matchroom, top rank. We want to win so bad. I want to win this fight so bad for Mo, and just for the rivalry with Bob. And it's a big fight, and it's a great fight for boxing. Two world champions, unification fight, two different promotional entities. And
there's a lot to it, isn't there?
There is. It wasn't easy, but I think financially you come up with a deal where Bob sort of looks at it and goes, you know what, I couldn't pay this guy this kind of money, and it's a great opportunity for him, and it's a really good fight. Bob's here. Bob's been here since Wednesday. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
So he's incredible. He's incredible.
Could you see yourself doing that?
No. I mean, maybe not even 48. I'm 40, but in life you've got to do what makes you happy. This game is painful. I mean, I don't expect people to feel sorry for me.
I'm a guy behind the camera. Look at my grey hairs.
But this week's been tough. I mean, last week was tough. And at some point you sort of have to ask yourself, do you need this? You know what I mean? Forget the money. Like, luckily we got money, but it's more than that. It's about enjoyment, and it's about the buzz. I love the buzz of boxing. I love this business. It's fucking brutal, and you can never win. But to do it at 88, fuck that. I mean, whatever you think of Bob Arum, you got to respect the hustle
definitely.
and the grind. I mean, that's phenomenal. And listen, maybe I'll be having an interview with you at 88. How old are you?
36.
Is that all you are?
Yeah.
Fuck me, you look about 50.
I don't want to turn the camera
36?
Yeah, man.
Are you
I've
really?
had a hard life.
Mate.
You know what I mean? I've fought in 2
I'm
wars.
4 years
I've done
older
this.
than you. I'm 4 years older than you.
Well,
But you do have to.
for the thumbnail, I've got a picture of me and you and I'll put it
fucking-
who's
mate,
older.
honestly. So, who knows how long I'll do this for? But it is, life's about enjoying yourself. But I would miss this horrifically if I
Your
wasn't.
dad done it though. Your dad left quite.
He did because he realised the aggravation, but he's clever. An opportunity come up in other sports to make more money with less aggravation, and he turned around. Don't forget, I grew up obviously with my dad.
Did you?
In it, some people don't, and around him non-stop.
Yeah.
I saw the aggravation. Since my dad left boxing, he changed as a person. His temper was much longer, he had a lot more time for me, and I see it with myself and my family. So temper, but I'm short and snappy when things ain't going right. Time wise, I'm always thinking, I'm always on the phone, and it can affect the time you spend with your family. My dad made the sacrifices in his life for our family, and I didn't see a lot of him growing up because he was working non-stop, flat out. I'm now making those same sacrifices, but you have to ask yourself, do you want to, is that good for your family? Really, I should be spending more time with my children. But I hope one day they understand how important the business is to us. It's a family business.
Yeah.
We take it very seriously, very seriously, and that's why sometimes I won't take well to people criticising our integrity or stuff like that. So it's not like we're just employed by some company. This is our company, this is our life, the business. And I don't say it matters as much as the family, but it matters as much as the family. It is the family.
Your Twitter profile's family first,
Business close second.
Yeah.
But it is, you have to understand, Matchroom is my family.
Yeah.
So that's why we fight for our life for that business, and that's why we work so hard. But again, at some point in your life, you have to sort of turn around and say, and I honestly believe one day I will sit down and interview, maybe with Coogan, and I will say, I just want to say, that's it for me. Right?
That'll hit the views.
Yeah. But I want to thank everybody for everything. I've given 110% every day I've been in boxing. Right? Whether you believe me or not, I love this sport to bits.
Yeah.
I will always back this sport. I always will try and do the best. But it's time for me to go. So fuck off, leave me alone. Don't ever interview me again. And I'm going to poodle off into the sunset and do something else.
You'll be back.
Maybe that will never happen. But it's been an interesting few months. Obviously AJ lost, which is fine. I can accept that. That's sport. But a lot of other aggravation in a lot of other areas where you have to make decisions that you feel and you follow the rules, and sometimes they get criticised and sometimes people don't understand particular situations, but it comes back down to enjoyment in life. Are you enjoying what you're doing? It doesn't matter whether you're doing this. If you're not enjoying this, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because life's too short, but I do love what I do, and the challenge is, and the challenge for us at the moment is to create a global business and be the biggest promoter in the world. Take boxing to territories where it either doesn't exist or it's depleted, grow it, build it, and do the same in the US whilst also holding our position in the UK. It's tough. We've gone from 2 or 3 employees in the business to having offices in 4 countries around the world, now probably 100 employees. And the growth's incredible. But the bigger you get, the more aggravation comes with it.
I think that you mentioned that the US side of things has been growing rapidly. It's been all over the place, but the UK market, a lot of people have said, I think Coogan's covered this as well, so it feels like it's depleted a little bit.
I just think there's more money in the US for fighters, so fighters want to go and box in the US. It's not a case of me going, do you know what, I'm going to start taking all the fighters over there. There's just a lot of money for fighters to be made in America. Again, you have to understand that if that's the case, fighters, managers, trainers, they will want to go and fight in America. But with Lomachenko, Campbell, with hopefully Joshua Ruiz, I think the back end of the year is really strong for big momentous occasions for British boxing. And you have to understand, I'm British. I love working in America, I love working in Italy, but that's my bread and butter, is British boxing. And I don't want it to be depleted. You know, what the work that we've put in British boxing, I don't want that to go to waste. So yeah.
Because there is talk about you branching out into Spain and
yeah,
Germany.
well that's all
right?
That's all coming. Yeah, we'll have our first Spanish show coming up at the end of the year. We're going to be doing 6 to 8 shows in Spain, in Germany as well. We're obviously doing 8 in Italy as well, and now 16 in America, 20 odd in the UK. Like, it's madness really, but it's an amazing challenge. And I can only, you know, I'll joke about with my old man, but I've spent most of my life being Barry Hearn's son, and it's only in the last 10 years where he has become Eddie Hearn's dad, right? But the only way, you know, joking aside from the silver spoon stuff and stuff like that, the only way I can really get the credit for my success is to take the company to another level from where he put it, because I will always be, you got to give him a job for your old man. Do you know what I mean? You got, you know, Sky, I know you got the contract, but obviously, you know, I had a contract before, and a lot of that's true. You know what I mean? You've got to play the hand that you're dealt. So I can't tell you that I grew up in a council flat and you don't know the struggle and all that. But what I will tell you is the struggle that I've had is to get my own success. And it's sometimes difficult to do that when you've got a very successful father. You know, don't feel sorry for me. Not one person will. But that's.
You nearly had me.
No. But that's everyone's got their own struggle.
Yeah.
My struggle was, how am I going to get recognised for something that I've done, for my personal achievements, not the family achievements, not being Barry Hearn's son. How am I going to be remembered and create a legacy in my life? And this was the path that I found. Never growing up was I saying, I'm going to be a boxing promoter. When my dad was a boxing promoter, I didn't want to be a boxing promoter. It wasn't even in my mind. I wanted to be a sportsman. I was 8, 9, 10, going through those kind of ages. But this is what I found, and this is my opportunity to create a legacy. I want to be a Hall of Fame promoter. He's a Hall of Fame promoter. I want that. I want to go down as someone that's changed the face of the sport. That's really the achievements you can have. I want to create memorable events that people will look back on over history, which I really feel like we've done, particularly Joshua Klitschko, particularly Froch Groves, and all of those events.
Do you think you've sort of done that with the Wembley shows?
We have, but you won't see that till the future.
Right.
You know, you look back at the iconic images now of boxing. One day, I believe people will look at those images and say, wow, that happened at Wembley. You know, and that's the buzz for me. The bigger buzz is to see how big we can, you know, make the business, how successful we'll be. It's not, again, people won't believe this, it's not really money driven, it's target driven, right? So we set a target, which might be a financial one, and I have to hit that, right? It doesn't matter whether that's 1 million or 10 million.
It's the main man at Matchroom there, isn't it?
Winkle. So it's just the drive to succeed, and like I said about Aaron, the hustle. We're hustling every day, you know. I'm non-stop, mate. Non-stop. I get no fucking sleep. I'm full of aggravation.
You're always on the phone.
But the upside, I'm not talking about the money, I'm talking about the enjoyment, the buzz. You can't buy it. You know, some moments in my life and my career in boxing, already just being 10 years, Darren Barker, Daniel Gill, Kell Brook, Sean Porter, Tony Bellew against McCART, Bellew against Hay twice, Froch against Boutte, Froch against Groves, Crawler against Perez, Crawler against Barroso. Oh, mate, so many different, you know, nights that have just blown my mind and driven me crazy.
Because you've had some, I wouldn't say stick, but you've had sort of like...
Oh, the stick's incredible.
The sort of images of you like that.
Yeah, I know.
Cheering with
the stick comes with success. You know, I don't want to sound arrogant, but the more successful you are, the more stick you get. That just comes with the territory. But, you know, I just think that one day you'd want to be remembered as someone that actually had an impact. When you go through your life, you want to really leave a footprint. You want to leave some kind of legacy, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, life's about surviving and being happy and providing for your family and being there for your family and having that bond. But you still want to end your life. When it's all said and done, for me, what matters most is someone people look back and go, Eddie Hearn, fucking hell. Like, I know he was a bit of a bellend, but fuck me, that geezer changed the game. You know, because my dad's done that in a lot of sports.
Yeah.
But that's just my dream. Your dream might be something different. You know, you might want to go down as a top reporter, or you might want, your focus might just be, I just want my kids to make sure they get a good education, great life, they're happy, and that's probably the most important thing. But personally, if you want to be successful, you've got to be selfish, and you've got to have a goal yourself, and you've got to know what you're trying to achieve and where you want to go. If you go day by day, I always, if you listen to my podcast, guys, can I just say something? This is going to do like 200,000 views. So if those 200,000 people listen, BBC Sounds, BBC 5 Live, Eddie Hearn, No Passion, No Point, I'd appreciate it, because I think we'll go to number 1. David Gandy this week,
there
obviously very similar.
He's a handsome man, isn't he?
He's fucking handsome. It was depressing. I'm like almost looking at him thinking, and he's like, I'm sort of thinking, oh Jesus Christ. So I'm waffling now. But anyway, the key in that podcast, I talk a lot about keeping your mental state simple in that day by day. I think too many people struggle from mental health because they overthink things, they worry about things. Just, even if you wake up in the morning, write down what you've got to do today, right? So right now it's 6 o'clock. What have I got to do today? I've got to stay off Twitter, right? No, I'm joking. I've got to finish this, got to do some work in there, got to make a few phone calls, got to have a shower, got to meet everyone for dinner, top rank, a couple of the writers and stuff like that, then I've got to go to bed. That's it.
And then fight night.
Yeah, but worry about tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, tomorrow will be more aggravation, will be the fight, may have more problems at the fight, or might have an unbelievable night where Maurice Hooker wins, we jump in the ring, and we have a night we never forget.
One of them iconic moments that you've just talked about.
Exactly. Fingers crossed.
Well, we were talking about Maurice Hooker and Ramirez, but then we went off
we did,
this.
didn't we? Life stories. Life stories.
So that's a good sort of. Don't know how we segued into that, but well done to us.
Yes.
So I want to go back to Hooker. Then is your fight all going well for Saturday? You obviously clearly believe that Hooker will win. And
I understand it's a 50-50 fight, but I do believe Hooker will win the fight.
So I asked Frank this as well in our interview. Is maybe not the next fight because Joshua and Prograis isn't fighting until October. I think is the next organic fight for Hooker would be the undisputed one against.
Yeah, he will have a mandatory, which is against Jack Catterall, so he'll have to take care of that at some point. That's the dream of the division, isn't it? Every division, I think, should be undisputed, and we have a really good chance of that. I mean, I think the winner of this fight should fight the winner of Taylor Prograis for the undisputed 140-pound title, and Prograis Taylor's a really, really good fight, and this is a really, really good fight, and the winner of that fight against the winner of this fight is a really, really good fight, and that's the name of the game, isn't it? That's the aim. So we've got to try and make those fights happen.
Can I put you on the spot?
Go on.
Prograis Taylor, who wins?
Progress's manager just walked past. Did you say that? Yeah, Sam Katowski.
Whisper it then.
I think home advantage could be key in that fight, and I think it will happen in the UK. And I think I haven't really seen enough of Prograis. I mean, he's highly rated, but he was really highly rated a year ago. Josh just continuously gets better. So I'm going to go for Josh Taylor in that fight. Sorry, Regis, if you're watching this, but I just feel that in the UK, I think he can edge that fight. I think he's continuously getting better. And you don't know about what levels. It's a bit like Hooker Ramirez. Have they got more levels? Do you know what I mean? And you only find those out in those kind of fights. So I'm excited for that one.
Well, hopefully it gets made because, like, I don't know if Sky Sports have picked up the finals. Have they? They did pick up the semi-finals.
We're talking. Yeah. Like, it's a big fight. You know, it's a unification fight. It's a big fight.
I want to talk about the next gen show next week. I mean, a couple of good fights on that.
Really good, yeah. Particularly the main event. I mean, Brian Rose against Fowler is a great crossroads fight. You know, Fowler was probably the favourite going into the Fitzgerald fight. Brilliant fight. You know, one of the fights of the year. Fitzgerald was brilliant in that fight. And now Anthony jumped straight back into career defining sometimes, like used too often, but really if he wants to be at the level that he feels he should be at in his career, he has to beat Brian Rose. But Brian Rose has all the experience, he's in great shape, he's actually in a very confident mood, and it's a great crossroads fight. You know, one guy, top young prospect who got beat in his last fight against a former world title challenger, Lonsdale belt holder, who believes he's going to win. Blackpool, Liverpool, going to be a great crowd there. Lewis Ritson, Robbie Davis. I actually think that looking at the WBA rankings, I think there's a great chance that Ritson against Davis can be an official eliminator for the WBA title. Liverpool or Newcastle. I think if they both win next week, that's the fight that we really have to try and make.
That'd be the end of this year, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. October, something like that. Martin Bacoli on next week. Really good fight.
Sean McGoldrick?
Yeah, Sean McGoldrick against Asomba. Just a really good step up. Really tricky fight, tough fight. Again, another really good fight. Jack Cullen against John Harding Jr. Yeah. Dillian Whyte's team. Yeah. And Cullen's impressed me. Got a lot of support. John Harding Jr. has got a great story. I think he's an underdog in life, and they're up for it big time. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
After the next gen, you've got a bit of a gap. Well, maybe you can, after all that life story.
I've got 2 weeks off.
2 weeks off to spend with your family.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. It's very kind of you.
Well, I'm not giving you the time off.
Yeah.
You just gave you the time off, but then you're back on the
24th in Hermosillo, in Sinaloa, in Mexico. Juan Estrada against Beaumont for the WBC and Ring Magazine titles.
Coogan will be going to that.
Will he? Okay. It's dangerous out there.
They'll probably say me.
We've also got on that card Hergovich. He's fighting, and John O'Carroll is probably going to go on that card as well. Yeah, plus Espino, Pacheco, a lot of those guys as well. And then obviously the week after is going to be Lomachenko Campbell. 14,000 tickets now gone. So we're banging on the verge of a sellout already. Amazing. Next week, one heavyweight fight hopefully announced. It's going to excite a lot of people for the card, and a world title fight as well, and a couple of other domestic fights as well. So it's going to be a good card.
Can we see Usyk on that, Bill?
No,
definitely not.
It's It's absolutely, like, financially, it's just impossible. I mean, Lomachenko is expensive.
Yeah.
And Luke, so was Luke, rightfully so. So, no, you'll see Usyk in October. Yeah.
That'll be in stateside.
Yes, in the States.
Okay, well, talk to me about Lomachenko again. We spoke about it yesterday briefly again, but I want to elaborate more on it. The Lomachenko Campbell fight. I mean, Frank said that Campbell's got a good shot.
I believe so. Lou DiBella, I mean, you should interview Lou DiBella tomorrow whenever you see him.
Yeah.
He basically said he thinks Campbell's going to win the fight. It's hard to come out in interviews and start, I mean, there's loads of memes about me, like, predicting fights in the past. You have to understand that we're emotionally invested in these fighters, like our fighters. I believe that they can win fights. I really do believe, style-wise, and this is what Lou said, Lomachenko doesn't like long fighters. Campbell can punch. He's very confident. He's very skillful. He gave Linares a great fight when he wasn't really firing. Luke, he lost his father, and it was a tough time for him. Now I really believe Luke Campbell is in great form with Shane McGuigan. They're confident. He's in the UK. I think he's got a great chance. But we also understand that Lomachenko, pound for pound, is one of the top fighters in world boxing, pound for pound. I mean, probably pound for pound number one. But that's what Luke's fighting for. I mean, if Luke beats Lomachenko, fuck me, he's cracked it.
Definitely.
But it's going to be very difficult.
I want to just go back as well, because when we were talking about them life stories earlier, you mentioned that you want to match when you want to break out into different areas and stuff like that. Staying stateside, is there anywhere, like I know you've been to Kansas, Providence, Maryland, Dallas now. Is there any other sort of markets in the US that you're looking at?
We're just learning, to be honest with you, Andy. Like, Philadelphia was fun. Chicago was great. LA was great.
Because there's big cities like Atlanta.
Yeah, all of those. Yeah, I want to take boxing to places that don't really have a lot of boxing. I mean, we got criticised to go into Kansas, but we tried a new market, a new city, and we got to continue to do that. But it is easier to go to cities where boxing is important, is known, is in people's minds. But there's loads of places that we need to go to. I haven't yet done a show in Vegas, but I've 100% promoted. Obviously, we had Canelo Jacobs co-promotion. Now that's an aim of mine. We've done New York MSG now, the big arena.
That was a dream of yours as well.
Yeah, it was. Just growing up, sort of as a promoter, there's certain boxes you got to tick. Vegas is one.
That's the targets you're talking about.
Yeah. But I'm a bit sick in that every target that you hit, it's not enough. You've got to hit another one. So, like, the dream really was, wow, imagine doing a show at MSG. You do a show at MSG, not just MSG, but the World Heavyweight Championship. Done. Okay. What's next? Like, well, hang on. What about the Bird's Nest in China?
What?
What about Dynamo Kiev in Ukraine? What about in Italy? You know, Milan Stadium. What? Yeah. What about going back to the Congo, Rumble in the Jungle? You know,
Mongolia, you know,
but all of this stuff, you know, it's you have to have that vision and that drive. Otherwise, there's no point. You know, you're always going to be going, no disrespect, but you're just going to be down the copper box in the York Hall. You know, I'm not.
Yeah, you could take Joshua to Africa. I mean, I see him out Nigeria.
Yeah, it would be incredible. It's it's full of aggravation. It's very difficult logistically, but you've got to have that vision to do it, and that's why, you know, whilst not saying that Amir Khan show in Saudi was a great show of all time, they went there and they did it. You know.
You were there.
So I wasn't there, no. But you.
Oh no, I'm talking about. You were there for the World Boxing.
Oh, well, yeah. And again, same thing. You know, you can't knock these people for doing for expanding the game and taking opportunities to stage events elsewhere. So.
Okay, well, I've got a smile on my face because it's been 24 hours.
Yeah.
Dillian came out with a statement. It was just a brief tweet saying that he can't say
unfortunately,
much and whatnot,
Dillian's now in a situation where everybody presumes he's guilty, right? On the facts given by some articles written on boxing websites, some of which I'll just tell you about the boxing scene. They're not all factually incorrect, and I told the editor last night. Dillian is dealing with this himself. He has his legal team. You know, in terms of defamation and stuff like that, he's on that. And he's in a really difficult position where everyone just thinks he's guilty. So he's getting advice. This next process for him, he has to convince everybody that he is innocent. That's really hard to do. And one of the disappointing things is if that happens, I still think he's going to be, unfortunately, because of the world we live in, tired with this, you know, brush is going to get people tweeting. So he has to get this right. And he has to follow the advice of his legal team, which is don't say anything, don't come. You know what Dillian's like? He'd want to give an interview with you. Can you imagine that interview right now? Yeah, it would be off. And in a confidential case, which is UKAD's rules, he could affect his position and his chances of making sure that his innocence is official, right? So he's got to be very careful. So the statement that he wrote, which I saw yesterday, was shortened because a lot of things, other information coming out, me opening my big mouth in the interview, you know.
So I think you told me off as well. Did you?
I got told off because, you know, I wanted people to know. It's very important, and a lot of people have got agendas, right? I've seen it. Yeah. Stephen Espinosa, Deontay Wilder, you know, they're loving this, right? Oh, what Hearn's banging trouble, yeah. I just understand the facts, you know, and that's why it was so important for people to realise there was a hearing. And a process was followed. And I said to a journo today, I was laughing about his barbershop guy who just basically flies in to give me stick. I said, just ask yourself one question. Why, after the evidence that was provided by Dillian Whyte in a hearing, why was he cleared to box? And he went, well, you need to answer that question. I went, no, I'm asking you. Well, I don't know. I said, no, answer the question.
He was giving you quite a lot of stick,
fucking untold stick.
Yeah.
I end up calling him a clown because if you can't get your facts right, and if if you're not willing to accept any other information, it's a pointless interview. So I said to him, why was Dillian Whyte cleared to fight in that hearing? And some bloke shouted out, well, maybe he provided suitable evidence to clear his name or to clear him to fight. I went, congratulations. I said, so if he provided that, and if he was cleared, do you think that means he might have a case? I'll answer it for you, yes, right? So let it play out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Surely he's got grounds. He's had a hearing with an independent panel. They've cleared him to fight. And like Espinosa's like, oh, Eddie's just passing the buck to UK. No. I'm a promoter. I have a contract with two people who, when they are cleared to fight, that fight takes place. I can't walk away from that fight. I'll get sued. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, sorry, I'm not doing this because you had a query on your drug test and I'm not putting the fight on. What do you mean not putting the fight on? I'm cleared to fight. I've got my licence. I'm not suspended. You've got to put this fight on. No, you know. So, again, there's loads more.
So I don't know where my memory card ran out there, so it just goes on back.
So if a fighter fails a VADA test, the people who are on that email, which is Me, the other promoter, WBC, British Boxing Board of Control, and anyone else who's involved in those parties get informed of every test and every result. But they don't sanction. They don't have the ability to ban, suspend licenses, anything like that. But that information is reported to a group of people, which I like.
Yeah.
Right? UCAD don't report. UCAD report to the fighter and the British Boxing Board of Control. Right? So, and it's confidential.
Yeah.
This is the thing with the Tyson Fury case. He failed a drugs test. The whole thing was kept confidential. The hearing went on. It went on and on, and there was a lot of criticism around that. Right? So, but they sanction, which I think is great, because at least you get a ban, you get a hearing. There's a process that's followed. Because one of the problems is a fighter can fail a VADA test. Who bans them? Right? I wonder whether we need a universal ban that all the agencies agree. If you fail a drugs test and you are proven that you took that intentionally, this is the ban period for X, Y, Z. It doesn't work like that. So I'm really going off in tangent. I don't know where I'm going. So
I think my question was like, did he get
confusion?
Caught?
Yeah.
Getting caught and having the hearing being cleared.
So he was asked. A lot of this is ongoing, but right now he had a hearing where basically he was either going to be allowed to fight or he wasn't going to be allowed to fight. But the evidence that he would provide, mainly through VADA, which tested him the whole way through, and a lot of those tests very close to again. You'll see in time, right?
I know,
but was enough for that body to say, okay, yes, makes sense, you're clear to fight. I don't know what happened in that hearing. I wasn't in the hearing. I didn't have a representative at the hearing. All I got was a call to say Dillian Whyte is cleared to fight this evening, and therefore the British Boxing Board of Control, who follow the codes of UCAD and the panel, essentially have no choice because that's their rules. He's cleared to fight. They can't suspend a fighter who is cleared to fight by that agency, by that government agency. So again, loads of stuff to come out, but the key message yesterday was, and I don't know how it's going to play out, Andy. I really don't. Yeah. But what that said to the interviewer is, if they've allowed him to fight, there's a case here. Obviously, there's a reason they've allowed him to fight.
I've only heard one side of the story, which is
but it's frustrating. But again, a lot of the boxing scene article was factually incorrect. But people don't really care what's factually incorrect. Like this guy was interviewing me today, going, "Yeah, and I read there was two." No, a lot of that's bollocks. But again, that will come out in Dillian Whyte's case. But I
kind of think
I feel like the main issue.
Than what you can say. So.
Yeah, but the main issue now is he's got to fight for his, not even his innocence, his to get mate, his life, his career. He's fighting for his career right now. Because if something happens and it doesn't go as well, or he's banned, or if no one ever believes him, it affects his earnings, his life, more importantly, his ability to try and become world champion. So let the facts unfold, and I've got to see the fact. Like, I want to know what happens from here. But all I know I keep going back to, an independent panel cleared this man to fight for a reason, based on the evidence that was provided. And I wasn't in the hearing, but ask yourself why he was cleared. People have conspiracy theories. Eddie Hearn pulled in a favour. Fucking don't be daft. This is a proper organisation. But why did they clear him? He must have had grounds.
Yeah.
So let those grounds, let it all come out, and see where we go.
Yeah.
But it's a shitstorm. It's been a fucking complete nightmare, and again, the last 72 hours or whatever it was, or no less, before the fight last week. And I know people ain't going to feel sorry for Dillian Whyte right now. How that man got in the ring and performed and won, I will never know. Because emotionally, mentally, that must have been one of the toughest things to do. So let's see how it plays out. And support him, don't support him, have your views, whatever.
It's a case of just sit back and wait and see until
Yeah, but people,
everything's
I just think that, again, he was cleared for a reason. That's fine. Let's give him a chance to see how that plays out. But protocol, and again, people are protocol. But we have a code to follow legally, and it was followed. So it ain't ideal for anyone, mate. It's been a disaster, a nightmare. I mean, for us, let alone Dillian Whyte. But we'll see, how it plays out in the next. I don't even know. Week, month, But yeah.
Well, I know you can't really say much on it, and Dillian can't say much on it, but I want to stay on the Whyte Rivas story. But a little backstory that's came out was the glove situation. There was a fighters meeting. Dillian signed off on 2 pairs of gloves. However, he walked into the ring with a 3rd pair of gloves that wasn't signed off between the WBC and Rivas team and whatnot. Can you add to that?
Yeah, I can. And again, further to people's astonishment, Eddie Hearn is not the WBC and he's not the British Boxing Board of Control. I know. So in that situation, I was actually ringside. People were buzzing around me. We've got a problem with the gloves. We've got a problem with the gloves. He's put on his gloves that he chose in a rules meeting, and they wouldn't go on his hand properly, or there was a problem with the thumb or something. He wasn't happy with his gloves. He asked to wear another pair of gloves. Okay, this is not overly common, but it's been done quite a few times before. In that instance, the British Boxing Board of Control, the WBC, were asked if they were happy with him to wear another pair of gloves. Okay, I believe that they said you can wear. Obviously, they have to be inspected. They're not just like, oh yeah, I found these gloves down here, I'm going to wear these instead. They're inspected by the British Boxing Board of Control, inspected by the WBC, and the decision of those parties was that we're happy for him to wear those gloves. Oscar Rivas, would you like to wear these gloves as well?
Whyte team asked.
Yes, and he decided to wear his gloves. I think we're rivals.
See, the thing is, Rivas' team saying they didn't know about this, but then obviously
they knew. They had representatives there the whole time. Yvonne Michelle was involved in all the conversations. Russ Amber was involved in the conversations. I wasn't physically there, but I knew everyone was buzzing around telling me about it. A decision from the British Boxing Board of Control and the WBC said, we are happy if he wants to wear these gloves. Feel free to ask them why. It's happened before when a fighter can't get the glove on or something's happened to the glove overnight. I don't see the glove wasn't a different style of glove. So yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it, you probably haven't, because Umar just released it. He done an interview with Spencer Fearon this afternoon back home. It's been out there, and sorry, it was a memory card first time. Now the batteries ran out. But what I was going to say was Spencer's basically said in an interview with Umar that he's from a good source. He's heard that Oscar Rivas has failed the test also. I don't know if you know anything about that, or you can elaborate, or anything else. But
no, it's interesting. I mean, sources are dangerous, especially if it's HP on your bacon. Sorry, that's terrible. But
you made me laugh. So
look, if he failed a VADA test, we would know about it. If he failed a UCAD test, we actually wouldn't know about it, because that is confidential between the British Boxing Board of Control and Oscar Rivas.
So could it be a UCAD test he's filled in?
Again, I wouldn't because of their policy, which is confidential between the party and the board to deal with. I actually wouldn't know.
I've not really seen. I've not watched the interview yet with Umar and Spencer. Umar,
no, I don't. All I can tell you is, I think it's unfair to start making allegations on a guy who was tested as rigorously as Oscar Rivas was. I've had no notifications from VADA that Oscar. Some other person sort of insinuated. No worries, mate.
You're good, mate.
No worries. Insinuated that as well, but not that I know of. No.
Again, it's quite an interesting story. I mean, this Whyte Rivas thing might go on for months and months, like you said.
It's EastEnders drama, isn't it? But it's a very important time for Dillian Whyte now, because his career is hard to say in tatters. He's got to take this very seriously, and he's got to go through this whole process and clear his name not just with UCAD or the board or completely, but with the public. And that's a real, like if he's 100% innocent, which time will tell, then it's a brutal what's happened to him, because it's going to be difficult. But all I'm saying is, I go back to you know that he was cleared for this fight in a hearing now. Everybody knows that now. So ask yourself why. So you have to probably give yourself a chance to say, well, there's a reason. So if there's a reason, there must be a reason with grounds, and let that play out and see where it goes to. But again, if he wasn't cleared to fight, the fight's off. Nothing I can do about it. Contractually, legally, the guy hasn't got his licence. There's no fight. Once he's got his licence and he's cleared to fight, again, going back over old ground yesterday, but I don't know how simpler to put it,
Finally, I know you're busy, you want to get some dinner.
I'm busy.
You're busy. I'm fucking busy.
I'm busy. I'm busy. Don't waste my time.
There's the meme right there. Quickly, AG Ruiz 2, any news on that? Any further developments?
No, not since
Nope.
about 12 hours ago, since we spoke last time. Still the front runner, December 14, Cardiff. So
there we go. Fingers crossed.
All right, mate.
Get some news soon. Eddie, thank you very
Cheers,
much
mate.
as always.
Thank you.
For the
Cheers.
Five TV.